This is Christina Lynch from Passport Online, and for this training video, I'm going to cover how you can send Globus and Globus family of brand offers to your customers. Now that you have it enabled for booking on your website, it's really important for you to know how you can actually get those offers and offer information out to your customers and really increase your bookings. So for the 3 different types of marketing emails I'm going to show you how to send, you're going to be going through Agentport for all 3 of them. And once you're in Agentport, we're going to start off by doing a search. So no matter which of the 3 we're sending, we're still going to start the same way. So I'm going to go ahead and start off with a search. Now, if I were wanting to send an Avalon email, I could leave it at this default cruise search here. I could change the cruise line over here to Avalon Waterways and run a search that way to view the Avalon Waterways information. For this instance, though, I'm going to go ahead and actually perform a detailed search here, and I'm going to use one of the land suppliers here from Globus and show you what those look like. So just as our example, let's go ahead and scroll down a little bit more. We'll use Globus as our company. And remember that there is a whole family of brands for Globus. So it's Globus, Monograms, Cosmos, and Avalon. So all 4 of those will be bookable on your website. But just again, as our example, I'll use Globus. And let's go ahead and put in a destination. So I'm going to say that my customer is specifically interested in a Globus trip to Europe. So that's what I'm going to try to put together for them and send them some different emails about it. And I'm going to go ahead and leave everything else kind of open-ended, and that way we have plenty of results to use as our demo here. And we'll go ahead and search with those 2 parameters in here. So once you get to your search results page, that's when you're going to be able to start picking out what kind of email you want to send. So I'm going to go over all 3, but the first one I'm going to show you is a comparison email. Now what the comparison email does is it allows you to select up to 3 offers, and then it's going to compare those emails side by side and allow your customer to really quickly and easily, at just a glance, be able to look at them and find the differences. So once you're on your search results page, in order to build a comparison email, you can select up to 3 offers by checking the boxes on the left-hand side here. Now, if you need a little bit more information about that offer before sending it to your customer, you can always go over to this info button over here, and that's going to bring you into the detailed information page for that specific offer. So this is where you're going to find information about the different departure dates, information about what the offer includes. So this one also has some information about meals and hotels, additional tour details, and then some generic information about Globus, as well as the itinerary map and the itinerary locations. And these itinerary locations, most of the time you'll find that we actually have additional information you can find by clicking on it as well. And that's what it's going to look like for your customer too, so they'll be able to get that additional information from there. So let's go ahead and go back, and I'll send all of this offer information provided to us here through Agentport to our customer. And we'll go ahead and just select the boxes of the 3 different offers we were wanting to send. So I'm going to send them the introduction to Ireland. Let's do scenic Ireland, and we'll send them a Scotland offer as well. And this is going to be obviously up to you and your customer what they're looking for. They might want ones that are really similar to compare. They might want ones that are vastly different to compare. This is really up to you and really knowing your customer. But these are the 3 that I'm going to go ahead and send out. So once I have my 3 selected, I'm going to come up over here, and I'm going to use my compare button. It's going to be right up towards the top right. When you click on compare, it's going to give you an agent view of what this looks like. So when we send this to the customer, which I'm going to show you in just a second, it'll actually show this within your website. But right now we're looking at the agent view here, and this is what it's going to look like when, basically what it's going to look like within your website here. And to email it, go ahead and select the email button. It'll ask you for some additional information for that email. And then I'm going to show you exactly what that email will look like. So for the email that I'm about to show you, I already filled out all of this information in it. I added a message to it as well, because for this type of email, what it does is it just creates a URL to send to your customer. So I think it's important to include a message as well, just to kind of let them know what exactly that URL is going to lead to. And then once you get that all filled out, you can go ahead and email it, which you'll see this send option down here. And this is what the email will look like. So I had put in a message, that's where this message is coming from right here. And then this is the URL that it's going to give to your customer with the offer information. And when they use that URL, it's going to bring them to your website. So this is obviously a demo website, so yours will have your header, your menu information, but this will give you a good idea of what this is going to look like. So you can see all of that great information that we were looking at as an agent. It's super easy to share with your customer as well. And then because they're on your website and your website's been enabled for booking, if they're ready to go forward and actually get booking right from here, they can always click on the Book Now button for whichever offer it was they were interested in and actually get that booked themselves if they are wanting to. So that's one way you can send them multiple offers. There is also an additional email you can send called a multiple offer email, which we're going to go ahead and do next. So I'm going to go ahead and go back one page to our search results. This one starts pretty similarly. What we'll do is we'll go ahead and pick the different offers we want to send in this email. And I'm just going to go ahead and work off of the same search results here. So let's go ahead and we'll pick a few more. So for this type of email that we're about to send, the limit to how many offers you can include is something pretty high, like 20. I wouldn't ever recommend sending that many to your customer, but you can definitely send them a couple more with this one, as opposed to being limited to those 3 within that comparison email. So I'm not going to be quite as picky with this one. I'm just going to go ahead and just pick the first 5 here. So once you've made your selection, and again, we're just checking those boxes to make that selection, we can come up top here and add those to our clipboard. You'll find there's some other ways to add offers to your clipboard as well. So if you're looking at an offer already, you're going to see a tool button, which you can click on, and that will also give you an option to add to your offer clipboard. So you can actually add to your clipboard several different ways. You can do different searches and keep building it until you have all of the offers that you want. Once you have your clipboard all filled out with what you want, if you're not already looking at it, you can always get back to it if you hover over email marketing, and you'll see offer clipboard as an option. So I want to include all 5 of these offers in my email that I'm about to send here. So I'm just going to go ahead and select the select all button, which will select all of them for me here. And then just as a heads up, just because I am using only Globus as my example right here, you're not limited to only sending one supplier in these emails. So if you're wanting to include a couple Globus, a couple monograms, Cosmos, maybe you want to throw in an Avalon Waterways as well, you can absolutely do that. We're just working off of these because that's just a search results page I was on right there. And then we can go ahead and hit send email, and this is going to walk us through the email wizard to create the email. So really quick before I show you how you can create it, let me show you what the end result is going to look like when you send it to your customer. So here I have an email that I sent to myself a little bit earlier that I had created. And again, I'm going to walk you through exactly how to do this and how to add the different parts here. So I added a banner onto it. I put in an opening message here with a headline. And then you can see I had selected some Avalon waterways for my example earlier. So your customer will be able to see straight from the email some of the offer information, so like the lead and price. And then they'll also have, when they're looking at this, an option to be able to select more details or trip details depending on which banner you selected. And then really importantly also, they'll have your contact information showing at the bottom of the page. So it's really easy for them to be able to get additional information or to reach out to you at any point. So we want to make sure that they feel comfortable doing that. That way you can keep them with you, get your booking going. And just like when we were looking at the compare email, this one also ties to your website. So if they're wanting additional information about a trip, all they need to do is click on the more details or trip details button. And what that will do is it will show them that specific offer that they're clicking from on your website. So again, we're looking at our demo website here. This is going to be your website that it will send it to when you're sending the email though. And again, just like with the compare button or the compare email that we sent before, once they click through, they'll have the option to book this trip themselves as well. So all that information we were looking at as an agent, we were looking at the offer information, they're going to have all of that information here as well. So just to kind of keep in mind, just to make it easier to kind of remember, when you're in Agent Port looking at an offer and you click on that offer button, it's going to bring you to the agent version of this page. So super similar, all of that same great information. Again, super easy to share with your customer. So let's go ahead and we'll go back to agent port, and we can go ahead and create a new one of these to send out. Okay, so we can see we have those offers that we had selected to begin with using our offer clipboard, and it's going to show those. You can see that you can actually change the text that comes along with those different offers. You can actually change the image that shows with them as well. So if you remember when we sent that email, each of those different offers did have an image associated with it. If you wanted to change the image that came with it, you can click on this button here. Typically, those images are actually going to be really good from the Globus family of brands. They're really good about sending us nice quality images. The only time you might want to really consider changing those is if you're sending, let's say you're sending a bunch of different Avalon waterways and it's all the same ship. Oftentimes the image associated with the offer for cruises like Avalon are actually going to be an image of the ship. So if you are sending different offers on the same ship, that's when you might want to change the image just so all of the offers don't have that same image with them. So as I mentioned, you can change the information here. So if you had additional info about this offer that you wanted to share, you could. So maybe you have some of your own personal experience you want to share. You can do that. You can also change the order of these. So let's say I wanted this Alpine Countries one to show next. I can click on this up button right here, and that's going to pop up that offer one spot. So you can see you can move them up or down or remove them all together if you decide maybe that's not going to work for your customer. You also have the option on here to add in a section section headline. What that will do is it will add some additional text right above this offer, and it'll give it a little bit of a different font and styling to really highlight it. So if we wanted to say something like my pick, you could do that. Once you're ready, you can go ahead and click on next, and you'll see as we're building this offer, we're going through these different tabs here. So if you do need to go back at any time to make any changes, you can use those tabs to go back. But you'll see with each step, we'll find that next button showing up at the top right. So this one also allows us to add in a message headline and our message, which we saw when we were looking at that example of the one I had sent earlier, but let's go ahead and we'll put in some more here. And this is up to you what you want to write here. Maybe you want to actually have them give you a call or give them some other kind of call to action when you're doing that. That's totally up to you how you want to do that. You also have the option of using a top image on these emails. For the top image, typically I don't like those as much as using a banner, which I'm going to show you on the styling tab next. But you do have that option if you wanted to see what kind of images were available for that. You can also add in some extra disclaimer text that would show at the bottom of the email. So if you have any kind of legal text that you want to add on there, that's where you could go ahead and do that. Now this last field here, this comments, this area is actually for you. This is not going to show on the email when you send it out to your customer, but if you're sending a lot of these especially, I would really recommend using this comments area to its full advantage. It's going to come in really handy later to be able to find this email again really quickly. And then also it can make it super easy on you if, let's say you send out a couple offers for Europe with Globus, for example, but then you have another customer a few weeks later who sounds like they want some pretty similar things. You can actually resend emails as well. So making sure you add in some comments is going to make it easy to find these emails again. So what I would recommend doing, and you can use your own system, but what I like to do is I like to put in the destination at least, and then the last name of the person that I'm planning to send this to. All right, and we'll go ahead and hit next. Now is kind of a fun part of it is we get to pick out some styling with this. So this is where I got my banner from. So you can see there's a drop-down menu with banners that will include the banner names, and those are usually pretty specific, so I could actually find one really easily here. But I also have the option of viewing those banners by clicking on this View Banners link here. And that's going to give me a thumbnail of exactly how those will look. So I can go through here and find one that's going to be appropriate for the email we're sending out. So I'm going to go ahead and select this Enchanting Europe one. And then you can also change the layout of how the offers and text look within the email. That's what this layout options one is. What I would recommend doing is once you finish your styling page and hit next, you can go to your preview, see what it looks like. If you don't like how it looks, come back to styling and you can make some tweaks here. Now, as we noticed before when we were looking at the example, your agency contact information is going to show. The place that it gets that information from is this portion right here. So really make sure you're filling this out, not only to make sure that the appropriate contact information is showing on those emails, but also because in some places it's actually required by law to have that information. So better be on the safe side. Go ahead and fill that out. Your browser should remember for you so you don't have to do it more than once. All right, we'll go ahead and hit next. And this is the preview of what the email would look like. So we can say it's really similar looking to the example I had done before. As kind of just a heads up, when you're looking at the preview, you'll see that the links are going to be disabled, so you won't be able to click through here to actually view those, but it's just because you're in the preview mode there. It's not because it's broken or anything like that. Once you're happy with how it looks, you can go ahead and hit next and send your email. And you can change that subject line for the email if you want to. Once you have the email address of, or actually what I would recommend doing is sending it from and to yourself. So I'm actually going to change this as well. And that way you can take a quick peek at it before you forward it onto your customer. The other reason you'd want to do that is because it's actually a lot less likely to get caught in their spam if you send it to yourself first and then forward it onto there. A lot of email programs have spam filters that are set up to automatically stop any kind of emails that are coming in that don't match up with the server that they're getting sent from. So send it to yourself first, save yourself some hassle, and then forward it onto your customer from there. So once you're ready to go ahead and send it, click on that Send Message Now button. And every time you send either a single offer email or a multiple offer email, which is what we just sent within Agentport, you'll get a pop-up just notifying you that your message has been sent. And that way you know for sure that it's gone through. And then it's going to bring you into this previous emails in progress page. And this is where those comments are going to come in handy. So whenever you send that email, you can always come back here. It's going to be under Email Marketing, Previous Emails, Emails in Progress, where you can go back through and view any emails you sent before. You can also send them again if you needed to. This can be especially helpful if, let's say, instead of booking it online, your customer called you and said, hey, that email you sent me, I really liked that offer to Ireland that you were referring to. Can you go ahead and book that for me? You might not quite remember, you sent it to them a week ago. Which offer did you send them? Come back here, go into View. This is going to allow you to view that email. And then you can look through there and say, where's the one that I sent for Ireland? Well, let's see. I don't think we did actually send one for Ireland, so sorry about that. But let's say they sent that one for Norway. And then because you're within Agentport when you're reviewing this, when you click on the Trip Details button or the More Details button, it's going to bring you into your version of it. So instead of bringing it to your consumer website, it's going to bring you through to the agent version within Agentport. And if they're ready to go ahead and book it, you can actually click on Book here and go ahead and book it as an agent for them. So that's the multiple offer email. There's one last email I'm going to show you. And this email is if you want to send a single offer. It's really similar to creating a multiple offer email. It doesn't have quite as many options, but let me show you really quick what that looks like when you send it. So here's an example of a single offer email I had sent before. So you still have the ability to add in a headline and a message. The single offer emails do not have the option to do a banner though. This is just going to be the message that you enter in. And then if we scroll down a little bit, you can see probably could have guessed that the single offer email will only contain one offer, but again, that offer will link through to your website. So if your customer clicks on more details, it'll bring them to that offer page on your website. So to create one of these, again, you have a few different ways to do it. So if you're already looking at an offer page, so if we use one of these we were already looking at as an example, again, within Agentport, I'm back in Agentport now, not looking at my website anymore, you'll see that each of these offers does have a tools button with it. If you click on that tools button, this is what gives you the option to email this as a single offer email. Or again, I had mentioned before, there's a few different ways to add offers to your clipboard. So you'll also have the option to add it to your clipboard if you're wanting to build in a multiple offer email. So to go ahead and send it as a single offer though, all you need to do is click on email it. And that's going to bring you through to an email wizard that's super similar to that multiple offer email. It just doesn't have quite as many options. So because we already went over that, I'm not going to actually go through this one again, just because once you can do a multiple offer email, this one's going to be even easier. So we really hope you find this helpful. We want to make sure you're getting as many Globus and Globus family of brands bookings as possible. If you have any questions when creating these emails, if you need help at all, please feel free to reach out to our support team. You can reach us by phone at 503-626-7766 option 2, or by email at support@passportonlineinc.com.